ex-church member of Heaven Bound Church. That was the name of the church. It was located on North 27th Street in Milwaukee, and before the next main street named 27 and Capitol Drive. The corner store was on that corner, and it was a tavern to the right of it and was converted to a church. It was a storefront as well. That's where it began from the start. I was there from the beginning until I left it. It was church service there 7 days a week, and Bible study, Sunday school teaching, and choir practice too. And it had guest pastors to come and preach there, and other churches came there to visit and have service there too. And we go and visit other churches too in the city and out of town, and we had offerings at our church too. And from the beginning, it had all of the right things going as a church for Christ, as the King James Bible version say. And my mom and some of my family members went as well, and then they had shut-ins, and after a good number of years passed by, then everything turned to a 360-degree meaning to bad, where they was always taking up offerings for everything and using the money for misuse for their own needs and etc., and allowing people to have sex in that church. And it was fighting in the church, smoking weed and your favorite picks of people, turning other people's against other people's for the wrong reason, jealous of people's, letting people's preach in the pulpit for a fee for $400, and that person wasn't saved and called by God and filled with the Holy Spirit. The senior pastor there interrupt another pastor while he was preaching in the pulpit and told him inches away from his face and said, "Nigga, your preaching is weak." And two pastors helped that senior pastor start and build that church. In conclusion, me and my mom left that church for good and permanently. That church was a cult, and please be aware, and still exists today and function the same way. But for the 22nd century and 23rd century, musicians in competition with each other, singers in competition with each other, people rapping in the church, senior pastor using spiritual abuse to certain church members when the choir is singing, and the choir director is instructing the choir, and the choir director see it but didn't say or do anything about it. I believe the senior pastor spiritual abuse the choir director, senior pastor messing with the director daughters behind closed doors, building hopping, meaning move to one building, stay for a certain time and pay the rent and etc., and then won't pay the rent and etc., and then move out before the rent is due and etc., and move into another building and repeat the same cycle. They building a occult brand for the devil and not for Jesus Christ, the living God. The senior pastor is very prideful money hungry and love money, who can not can but causing the best flattery, who wife looks the better than the other pastor wife. This is just the tip of the iceberg. To book more of info.